Welcome, my name is Carlos Manriquez.
And I'm Fred Garcia.
And together we manage the Waukesha County's Teen Court. And we're very happy to have you here to learn about our exciting program. So we're gonna tell you a little bit about the history and the philosophy of Teen Court.
Waukesha County Teen Court is an alternative to the juvenile justice system for individuals ages 12 to 17. The program is designed to meet the needs of juveniles who commit a crime such as disorderly conduct, criminal damage to property, possession of drug and drug paraphernalia, underage drinking, and other such charges. The premise of Waukesha County Teen Court is to provide a meaningful sentence for defendants for the crimes that they've committed. So for those individuals who do complete the Waukesha County Teen Court program, their charges will be dismissed.
Waukesha County Teen Court is based on a restorative justice model. And it's also called a diversion program. And the reason for that is because Waukesha County Teen Court really seeks to find an alternative way of dealing with an offense or a crime. For example, the traditional court system will include a judge and a sentencing, which most likely will include paying a fine and having some other consequences. However, Teen Court, we really look at making amends to the community and to the victim and really having this become a learning lesson for the youth.
Waukesha County Teen Court started in 2006 after a number of county workers identified Teen Court as a possibility as a diversion program as opposed to individuals going through the juvenile justice system. Some of the benefits of Waukesha County Teen Court are that charges will be dismissed from the defendant's record. Individuals will learn about the juvenile justice system and how Teen Court works. And also it's an educational tool for teens to learn about what crimes are being committed in our community so they don't make those same mistakes themselves. Additionally, juvenile court offers an opportunity for peers to have a positive influence on other peers that find themselves in Waukesha County Teen Court.
This restorative justice model really looks to hold the youth accountable for their actions by giving them meaningful consequences. So some of the consequences that they will receive and must serve is community service hours. So they have to give back to the community for their actions. Also, they have to come back and be participants of the Teen Court program. More likely, they'll be part of the jury box, or they could be part of the prosecution or defense attorneys.
Other possible consequences in Waukesha County Teen Court include letters of apology to the victim or the parent, law education classes, alcohol and drug classes, peer mediation.
To be eligible for the Waukesha County Teen Court, the teenager who has been charged with the crime must admit their guilt. Also, they will be facing their peers, and there will be cross-examination on the stand by the defense attorney and the prosecution attorney. Parental involvement is mandatory. The parent will also go on the stand and be faced by the prosecution and the defense attorney.
Studies have shown that the restorative justice model of Waukesha County Teen Court is very effective in youth diversion. What it does is it teaches young people that there are consequences for their choices, that they can be judged by a jury of their peers, and they can learn from the experience of committing that crime. Additionally, for the other volunteers in the program, they'll have an opportunity to see what types of crimes are being committed in our community so that they don't make the same mistakes themselves. Here at Waukesha County Teen Court, we do pre-testing, post-testing, and we do a longitudinal study of 6-month testing out. So in the research data that we have so far gathered, it is very clear that we have individuals who are not recommitting offenses. Therefore, it is a prevention and diversion program.
I am the intake specialist and gatekeeper for the Waukesha County Teen Court. It is my job to make sure that the youth are appropriate for Teen Court, complete the necessary paperwork to get the process started, and to schedule Teen Court sessions. On the night of Teen Court, I or another intake specialist meet with the teen and their parent. Together, we sit down, complete the necessary paperwork required for the Teen Court process.
Hi, my name is Andres Pedroza. Today I'm playing the role of the defense attorney. My role is to represent the client to the jury and put his or her actions in the best light possible. My job includes interviewing my client about the incident that brought him or her to teen court and asking questions about my client's background. For example, I'll ask about grades, extracurricular activities, and jobs outside of school. I will also inform my client's parents that they will be on the witness stand and share with them questions I might be asking them. For example, I might ask, what kind of person is your son or daughter? Do you believe they're telling the truth? How did you punish them for what they did? Do you feel they have shown remorse? I'll develop an opening and closing statement.
My name is Marcus. I play the role of the prosecuting attorney. It is my job to question the witnesses, the defendant, the defendant's parents, and any other witnesses. I inform the judge and the jury. I state the facts to the court to show what the defendant has done will not be tolerated in the community and that they need to be punished. Like the defense, I give an opening and closing statement.
My name's Lori Schweifel. I am a local attorney and I volunteer for teen court. I have, as the judge, I'm the only adult in the courtroom. In teen court, the judge is not the trier of fact, it's actually the jurors. 12 young people that have the power to influence the decision. I may have to influence them on occasion. As the judge, I set the stage for the case. I welcome participants. My job is to ensure that evidence is presented in a clear and concise manner. I may have to ask additional questions after the defense and the prosecution are finished, just to make sure that we have a complete picture that rounds out the case, and I also need to give jurors a complete picture of the evidence. The biggest part I see of my job in the judge is to ensure confidentiality. We need to ensure that the people that have come to us are protected, that their parents are protected. So I continually reinforce the theme of confidentiality throughout the entire process.
Hi, my name is Eric Juarez. I'm a volunteer acting as bailiff clerk. My role in teen court is to make sure the court runs smoothly. I announce the opening and closing of court and the case numbers. I also swear in witnesses.
Hi, my name is Erica. Today I'm volunteering as the jury foreman. That means that I'm the spokesperson or leader of the jury. My role is to ask questions on behalf of the jury, make sure that they talk about all aspects of the case, and read the verdict of the jury.
Hi, my name is Daniela. I'm volunteering as a member of the jury. My job is to listen to evidence, ask questions of the witnesses, and talk about the case with other members of the jury. Once both sides have had a closing argument, we get together and try to come to an impartial verdict and give a fair sentence.
My name is Royal. I'm playing the role of defendant today. I decided to volunteer for teen court because 1, I want my case dismissed. 2, I didn't want to pay the fine. 3, I want to learn more about the court system. My role today is to give honest answers to the attorneys, the judge, and the jury. I understand that I'm required to take part in the future teen court, that I must abide by the court's verdict, and I am required to complete the sentence by the jury.
Will all please rise? This court in and for the County of Waukesha is now in session. Honorable Jeffrey Wardshaw is presiding. Please observe order and silence.
I want to welcome everybody to teen court today. My name is Jeff Warchel. I'm an attorney. I'm also a municipal judge, and I will be the judge presiding today over this case in teen court. You're going to raise your right hands, and then after I give this oath, I need to hear "I do" from everyone. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will not divulge, either by words or sign, any information which comes to your knowledge in the course of a teen court session, and that you will keep all said proceedings which may be held in your presence confidential, so help you God? I do. Thank you. Please be seated. What we'll do now is we'll start with our first case on the calendar for today. My bailiff clerk, could you please read the case for us?
Case number 11-TC1 in the interest of Justin B.
All right, thank you, bailiff. As my bailiff just indicated, this is the case of Justin B., case number 11-TC-1. The offense is possession of marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and curfew violation. I will now ask the members of the prosecution and defense to please, one at a time, stand up and introduce themselves. Let's start with the prosecution.
I'm Marcus W. I will be the prosecution today.
I will now have the defense attorney stand up and introduce himself.
I'm Andres P. I will be the defense attorney for today.
Members of the jury, do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will honestly and truly try the issue of this case and render a fair and true verdict according to the law and testimony, so help you God? I do. Thank you. Jury, please be seated. So I'll start with my prosecutor. Do you have an opening statement, sir?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today we have a case of possession of marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and curfew violation. The defendant was caught in his car smoking marijuana. Now, I can't stress enough what could have happened if he was high and would have driven on the roads late that night. That's all.
Thank you for the opening statement from the prosecution. Defense attorney Andres, do you have an opening statement you'd like to make? Please stand up and make it.
I, the defense attorney, set out to prove my client Justin simply was peer pressured into giving a ride home to the wrong crowd.
So we'll start with Andres, our defense attorney. Do you have any witnesses you'd like to call?
I'd like to call Justin.
All right, Justin, please come up to the stand. When you get to the stand, remain standing, face the jury, raise your right hand, and my bailiff will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Andres, do you have questions for this witness?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
What is your name?
My name is Justin B.
What is your age?
I'm 16 years old.
What's your GPA?
3.5.
Where do you work?
I work at the gas house.
What do you do there?
I'm a busboy and a dishwasher.
What activities do you do?
I do basketball, track, and I'm on the debate team.
Can you please tell us what happened in your own words?
When we were driving, I pulled into a McDonald's and I got my meal, and that's where we got caught.
Why were you parked in the McDonald's parking lot?
I stopped there because I wanted to eat my food because I was starving.
Did you know the other kids?
No, I did not.
Who brought the drugs?
The two other guys.
Did you expect the drugs?
No, I did not.
Were you surprised?
Yes, I was.
Did you try and stop it?
No, I did not.
How did your parents find out?
The police officer called them that night.
How did that make you feel?
Bad. I knew I was going to get in a big trouble when I seen my parents.
If you're in the same situation again, what would you do?
I would have told them to hold it off until they got to my friend's house so they can do it. But yeah, that's what I would have done.
Are you sorry for what you did?
Yes, I am.
Why?
Because now my parents probably won't trust me anymore, and I probably lose a couple privileges.
That is all.
Cross-examination by Marcus.
Justin, you seem like a nice kid. You've got a 3.5 grade point average. You're involved in all these extracurricular activities. What I want to know is, What were you doing out at 1 in the morning?
I gotten out of work.
And you told your parents you were going to get something to eat after work. Did you tell them anything about you picking up your friends?
No, because I talked to them after my parents called me.
You didn't think that was something that you should have talked to your parents about?
I didn't think about it. I didn't think this was going to happen.
When your friend called you, did you think it was just going to be him?
Yes, he didn't inform me about the other two people. There were just two other guys just going to his house.
So you picked up these three guys, two of them you didn't know. You went to McDonald's, got your food, then what?
I started eating, and while I was eating, they pulled out the bag of marijuana and started doing stuff with it.
And did they offer you any, or?
No, not at first. While I was eating, they just asked me if I wanted to try it or take a hit.
Do you think you would have put other people that were on the streets in danger if you would have drove while you were high?
By then, there would probably be barely any cars driving on the road.
No further questions.
If anyone has a question at this point, please raise your hand. Sir, go ahead and ask your question.
How are you going to prove to the parents that they can trust you again?
I'm going to study more, do more chores around the house.
Thank you. Does the defense have any other witnesses they'd like to call? All right, Mom, you've been called as a witness. Please come up to the stand. When you get to the stand, remain standing, face the jury, raise your right hand, and my bailiff will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated. Mom, can you please state your name, just your first name for the record?
Ona.
And you are the mother of Justin, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Defense, Andre is your witness. You can ask questions.
Has your son done something like this before?
No, he has never been in trouble before. With his curriculum at school and his extra credits and his working, he doesn't have time to get in trouble.
Do you think you will repeat the offense?
No, I do not. Sincerely do not believe he will. He has been so depressed and upset over doing this that I don't think he'll ever repeat it.
Have you seen any changes in your son since this incident?
Yes, I have. He's much more helpful around the house. He's been watching what friends he goes with, and he's also been talking about going to like a crime school to learn more about police work and what gets him into trouble and what doesn't get him into trouble.
What were the consequences?
He's had his computer taken away. He's had driving privileges taken away for 3 months, and we need to know where he is at all times. And he's also agreed to go for drug testing.
Why do you think your son committed this offense?
I just simply think it was peer pressure, that he did not want to say no to all these kids and look like a sissy.
No further questions.
Cross-examination, Marcus.
Did your son call you that night?
He called me when he got done work and told me he was going to go out and get something to eat.
When you talked to him, did he tell you that he was going to pick up a friend?
No, he did not.
If you had known that he was going to pick up a friend, would you have let him?
I would have told him to come home. I was actually stunned because I did not believe he would do something like that. He's a very good kid. He has 3.5 average, and he's into sports, and he's never been in trouble before. It was very disappointing to us.
No further questions.
Thank you. All right, does any member of the jury have a question for Mom? Please raise your hand. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Have you ever talked to your son about drugs before?
Yes, we have talked about drugs.
Ken, could you please stand up and read the victim impact statement to the jury?
The underage use of drugs, whether it's legal or illegally sold, with the possibility of driving, has become a very serious problem in our community. The case before us today, in this case, could have turned out much worse than it did. People are dying on the highways every day, and it's all because, much of it is because of drinking and driving. And we have to send a message that this will not be tolerated.
Thank you. Members of the jury, now that you've heard the victim impact statement, I'll allow both the prosecution and defense to make a closing argument. Marcus, do you have a closing argument you'd like to make? Please go ahead and make your closing argument.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, although this crime was not a major or death, I can't stress enough what could have happened on the highway or roads if he wouldn't have been caught by a cop. Today, even though Justin is a good kid and gets good grades, he hung out with the wrong crowd. He made the wrong decisions at the wrong time. I think he's remorseful, but I still can't stress that he still committed a crime and he must pay for it. I'm recommending 40 hours community service, 4 scheduled teen court evenings, and an alcohol and other drug meeting groups. That is all.
Thank you. Andreas, do you have a closing argument you'd like to make on behalf of the defense?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I believe that Justin was exposed to peer pressure and had no choice but to smoke because his friends made him. He is a good kid. He has a good GPA and is in activities like debate club, track, and basketball. He has a good job. He regrets what he did. And he's taking the punishment because he knows what he did was wrong. I recommend 30 hours of community service, 3 teen court sessions, and a 500-word essay about what drugs can do to you.
All right, members of the jury, you've now heard the opening statements, the evidentiary part of the case, and the closing statements. Now we turn the case over to you for deliberations. Will everyone please rise and remain standing until the jury is in the deliberation room? All right, members of the jury, please be seated. Jury foreman, please stand up. Will you please read nice and loud the sentence to the court?
We, the jury, have concluded that the defendant is to perform the following sentence for his offense. The jury terms are 3. He will perform 40 hours of community service and write a 250-word essay of drug use of marijuana while driving, and write a letter of apology to his parents.
Thank you. All right, this concludes the case today. I want to thank all the members of the jury for your participation and for your time and your deliberation. One thing I do need to remind you is please remember the oath of confidentiality. And again, that means the names and events of teen court trials are not to be discussed with anyone. It's purely confidential. Thank you for your participation in teen court. This court is adjourned.
The concept of teen court, it's a court of your peers, is awesome.
The jury is not